get up, everybody move.
Hey family, I hope all is well. I'm doing very well myself. I'm doing excellent right now. Actually, I'm very happy. I feel like a weight has been lifted from my heart, and I'm very energized. I'm outside. I actually just came outside, and what hit me just now, right? And it hit my entire beingness, not just my understanding, but I realized something very powerful listening to Muji's words. Muji is a spiritual master of sorts, and he's he was speaking to somebody named Daniel, and he said to him, he said, God is not sitting on some holy throne saying to you, I gave you all this potential. I gave you all of this potential. Because here's the thing, right? The way that we raise our kids, especially in like the Western society or in the societies that were heavily influenced by the old white Christian power over you type of colonization, the societies that were born out of that type of colonization, and even some of them in the well, I'm not just gonna name, because this isn't about like being, anti people or groups of people or whatever. I don't mind all of that. I don't. But basically, he was saying that God's not sitting on some holy throne looking down at you like, I gave you all this potential, and you just end up working at the supermarket. What am I going to do with you? I gave you the world, and you're sitting here working, and you're a garbage truck employee. What are you doing? There's no such thing as that, because your mind can sit there and do that to you, but God will not do that. Does not function in that way, has no need for, God is not disabled where, oh, I need all of these human beings to do this and that for me. We serve God out of love for life itself, for self itself. We serve God for our own self because we serve ourself in that way. And when you ascend to a certain point of your service to the Creator, and of course, God can be replaced with any word that works for you. But we do service for our own self, right? And not in the sense of our ego self, our small self, but our own self, meaning when we serve God wholeheartedly, the entire world is impacted in a good way. And so that's what we mean by that. And so when he said, God's not sitting on the throne looking down at you like, damn it, I gave you all of this potential and you just end up working at the supermarket. You're at Walmart not using your potential. What the hell is wrong with you? It was like a weight was lifted because I grew up sort of, and not even just grew up, but in my young adult life, from the time I was, about 15 or so till 23, 24 years old, hearing from my parents and from other people's older generation, in their family, and like everybody in the older generation in my family, that you can accidentally waste your potential, and if you don't leave a certain amount of impact on at least your lifestyle, and if not the world, meaning if you don't make enough money to at least be comfortable for yourself, or impact the world in some kind of positive way for the community, then you're like not doing it right. And the notion that God may not be pleased with you if you don't live out your fullest potential. And this understanding was sort of beaten into us by the way that we have been taught to view and to sort of imagine what God is like, right, in terms of our understanding, because we usually take things through an egoic lens for our understanding, not because we mean to or we want to make things a certain kind of way, but just simply because that's what we've been taught to do. And it seems natural to us because we were taught to do it that way. It's like if I taught you how to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich a certain kind of way, where I said you always put the peanut butter on one side and the jelly on another side. Then someone that puts the jelly on both sides, right, or something like that, you're going to look at them and you're going to think like something's going to feel uneasy. It's going to feel unnatural. And so natural in the sense that it's because we've been taught that way, that it feels natural to think of God as looking at you and wanting you from like a personal kind of person-based desire, wanting you to live out your full potential. But that's not true. And it's good news that it's not true, because it's, one, it removes the limit that you have this one human life, and your one human life is all there is to you. And then if you don't do it within the life, then you failed, and you failed eternally, right? It takes that box off. It takes that weight off of our shoulders. Another thing, realizing that that's not true, that God is not sitting on a holy throne looking at you and being disappointed, is that you don't have to look at your mistakes and your shortcomings and your misfortunes as some sort of punishment from God. You don't have to look at that which you don't like in this life as punishment from on high because you can't explain it. No, some things you just can't explain in words, and that's that, right? And the fact that you're not okay with that is fine, but that's that. You don't have an answer, and it's not about, being punished by a personal God, or a God that has very small, limited personal views about how to share love and how and when to express love and when to express like punishment and stuff like that. There's no such thing. And so I had to share that with you guys. I had to share this energy with y'all, because it's like, man, I believed for so long, you feel me, that I was obligated from on high to live, to fill certain shoes, and that if I don't, then I fail. But not only I fail eternally, right? I fail my family, I fail my wife, I fail my future children if they're ever born, I fail my ancestors in the past. I fail the future, I fail the past, and I fail the present if I don't live up to some sort of potential. But you see, the thing about when you look at purpose in that kind of way, right? Because we're talking about purpose when we talk about living to your full potential, we're talking about like fulfilling your purpose, right? When you look at purpose that way, it puts a box around purpose, right? You have to try and guess what your purpose is. And probably before you're so old that your body can't do too much anymore. And so you gotta hurry up and guess and figure out what your purpose is, and then you gotta actually prepare and do the work to do your purpose, and then you gotta do it the right way, and then you gotta maintain your faith, your not faith, but your more so your face. You gotta maintain a personality and demeanor, and make sure none of your bad secrets get leaked out to the world on the internet or whatever, because you have to save face for, I'm the one that lived out this specific purpose, and I did it to the highest potential, and I impacted the world in a great way, and God is proud of me, right? No. The thing about God is God doesn't operate on pride in that way, okay? If God is proud of you, it's most likely because you have become God. You have forgotten yourself and become 100% a vessel of God and a vessel of grace, what we call grace in the Christian community. Okay, which is not a personality that is like all knowing and it's a personal all knowing. No, grace is this, is nature, is that which is, not that which is thought about, but that which really is. And so that's grace. And so just wanted to give you this message this morning. As you can see, it's a beautiful day outside. Wonderful day for me to have this revelation listening to Baba Muji, or Muji Baba, whichever you'd like to, you'd prefer to say. And to sum it up one last time, there's no such thing as God or Allah or the Tao or whatever you want to call the all, sitting in some holy throne, looking down at earth and looking down at specific human beings and saying, I gave you all of this potential and look at you just wasting it at the Walmart. Because obviously you would have to look at the Walmart CEO and founders and say, okay, you guys lived out your potential, but then you took away other people's potential because now you need employees for your store. Just to be a little elementary and poke a little fun at the whole idea, not to really be, super philosophical and logical about it. Obviously, there's tons of things you can say to justify being an employee at Walmart, and that's fine. I'm saying that whatever you're called to do, right? Don't try and do it to serve a personal most high, creator that feels so personally and small about you, right? And lives. Oh, I forgot. I was gonna say how we raise our kids. I just remembered how we raise our children is like you're on a probation. Welcome to the world, little child, little baby. You're on probation. This is how we raise our kids. Alan Watts talked about this in a few of his lectures, and I'm going to try and reiterate the idea because it really is how we raise our kids. He says, not Alan Watts, this is my wording, so not he says, excuse that. But it goes like this. It's like, welcome to the world, little child. You are on probation. And we are actual human beings. And you are going to go through a series of tests in order to be considered a human being. And the first test you're going to go through is called childhood and babyhood, right? And when you go through that, then eventually we're going to consider you a young man or a young woman. And then you'll have other tests. And then eventually you'll come around and you'll be about 25, 26 years old, and you'll be called a young adult. And here's where you'll almost be a human being. But if you have not, by the time you're that age, finished high school, maybe finished college, like I said, around 23, 24, finished college and started a career path and know what it's like to fulfill quotas and to make deadlines and to be a good contribution to your society. If you have not done those things, then we're going to look at you as less than human, right? And when we use words like purpose and potential with you, little baby, we're only going to be talking about how you can contribute to the comfort and convenience of the rest of us real humans that are here. Right now, you're not human. You are just on probation, and you might get to use the title human when you have passed your tests. This is how we raise our kids. And it's very true. I mean, think about your own upbringing and how society taught you certain things, how to be a good person is usually contribute to the convenience of somebody else, right? And how to be a good employee is usually contribute to the convenience of somebody else. And how to be a good whatever, is to be of service to somebody else. And so I, My favorite person in the world just walked up. So let me. There she is.
Good day.
She says, "Good day." I got my earphones in, so the mic is all the way over here. But you know, I had to, yeah, I had to come on and share with you guys that there's no such thing as, you know, a higher power that looks at you and says you're wasting your potential for working at Walmart or the gas station, and you're wasting your potential and you should do better. And I gave you all of these powers, and now look at you, and that God is mad at you. No. God's love is not hidden from or kept from any human being, any being whatsoever in creation. And this is Soul Expression signing out with Tensi. And we love you. We love you. We love you. We love you. Stay strong. Stay safe.
Keep going.
Keep going. Peace. So if you're new to Ufulu Child, make sure you subscribe to get more mind mastery content dropped straight into your YouTube feed. If you enjoyed today's episode of Get Your Mind Right, let me know by clicking that like button, and I can't wait to see you all in the next video. Peace and love.